Hi, I'm Jamie, and this is how I made Liminal.
Been excommunicated all my life, never fitted in the fixture.
To start, I get my 2013 Mac booted up. I bought it from my school for $25 actually, and it's been holding its own for a few years now. And what I'm gonna do once I have my Mac loaded up, because it takes about 10 years, is boot up my digital audio workstation, Ableton Live 11 Suite. Now once I have this loaded up, I can go about this a couple different ways. I can start in my DAW and play around with some instruments to find a sound that connects with me or that inspires me in this moment. Or I can also start on my synth keyboard, which is what I did for this song. You look here, we've got a lot of moving parts for Liminal. So when I went into here, after playing around with my keyboard, I layered in each section that I plucked out on there and then assigned a specific electronic instrument to it. I really am into using these electronic instruments to create these digital natural worlds that are kind of gliding between two perspectives. So one of the first pieces that I added in are our synthetic strings, which create this growing atmospheric sound you hear in the beginning as if a tiny little violin quartet is playing. And once I have that figured out, I went in and added some synthetic choir voices in order to create this church kind of atmosphere with these howling voices kind of in the background that just build on top of the synthetic strings that we already have here in our mix. Now as the song grows, we start to hear this repeating bass line that has this like damp, like evil noise, and that is been created with our plain bass synth. And so you can see all these tiny little dashes here to represent the tempo and the note. And then right underneath of that, I have our glacial toll, which is an even damper instrument that creates that kind of plucking noise that you hear throughout the song. Another thing we've done here is add in a synthetic flute, which is going to be mirroring the melody that I am singing in the pre-chorus. Now in our outro, I've done something interesting here, and I've used the synthetic flute that we have playing in the pre-choruses throughout the song to actually create the guitar that you're hearing, which is very rock inspired. And so I put an emulator on it that is an amp that will make the flute into a guitar sound. I did this to keep that dampened noise in there while also putting the sound inside of a cabinet so that it feels a little bit further away and it's not too in your face until it has its big release at the very end. Now a song of mine would be nothing without some special effects, so what I've done here at the end is add in some crashing cymbal noises to help grow the tension in the track, as well as some vocal shouts that are a little bit modulated, along with some TV turning off sounds in order to create this feeling that things are ending, and also I just like that they sound a little bit like lasers. Now something I did different for this track than I have for my past work is add in the percussion last. I like to build the atmospheric world around the track before I start to think about what the drums sound like. This helps me to really sink into what the song is and remain in the lyrical style that I am trying to go for. So if we look here, we can see that the percussion doesn't come in until verse 2, which I have aptly named at the top of the screen. And you can see as the bars get closer and closer together that that is what it will look like as the percussion is picking up more and more and more in the little spaces in between as where there's breaks in the drum. Now the best part is recording my vocals, so I will go in. I will pick my vocal preset that I have been using for a few months now. It changes every so often depending on what vibe I'm going for in my song, and then I will add some more layers in order to build out the sound of the voice, and also go back in to start to do some background vocals and things like that. Now something else I've done with the vocal line this time around is sample these voice messages from my mom. These messages have been really important to me during this time, and this song is a lot about my journey through self-growth and self-discovery and exposing these hidden parts within myself that I have excommunicated. And these voice messages from my mom represent some of the support I've had in doing that without her ever even knowing. Also, towards the end of the song, you'll hear these Bible verses in the background, which I also recorded into the vocal line and assigned to a specific ear, as I did with my mom's voicemail, so that they're not crowding up the center of the mix that you are hearing, and the sounds are a little bit isolated so that you recognize them as different from the main vocal line. Now, one of the most important parts is writing the song, which I have done here in my decomposition book, Covered in Some Mermaids. My favorite TV show is H2O Just Add Water, and when I saw this in the store, I kind of had to pick it up. And it is also an apt creature for some of the topics that I'm exploring on this album, which are all about transformation. Now, once the song is all done, I'm going to export it to my iCloud, where I will listen to it on my phone 1,000 times to make sure that everything is perfect, and then go back into my computer over and over again to fix little things that I either didn't notice on my first listen through, or things that I might want to alter, like the balance of the voice with the track, or the specific way that an instrument grows throughout the song, things like that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jamie. I hope you're enjoying Liminal.